Alright, welcome back to JavaScript The Basics. We're continuing our lessons looking at JavaScript algorithms. We've already covered creating an algorithm to determine if a string has all unique characters, and another algorithm determining the length of the longest word in a string. We talked about how algorithms are like recipes. Inputs are like ingredients, and they give us an output. This lesson's question is to create an algorithm to determine if two strings are a permutation of each other. How do we know if a string is a permutation of another string? We can do that by checking that a string contains the same characters and the same amount of those characters no matter what the order. So baseball and ball base and ASALLBBE are all permutations of each other. They can all be used to spell different things, but they contain the same characters. They all have two B's, two A's, two L's, and one E. Some tools at your disposal to create this algorithm are string split method, array sort method, and array join method. In our previous lesson, we looked at the string split method. You can go back and look at our algorithm on determining the longest word in a string if you need a refresher. So let's go ahead and move forward and look at the sort method on an array. The sort method sorts the elements of an array in place and returns the array. It doesn't just return an array value, it mutates what the array was. The array is sorted according to each character's Unicode code point value, according to the string conversion of each element. We won't go into Unicode in detail right now, and it can be a bit tricky when it comes to sorting an array of numbers. Let's look at an example of the sort method on strings in an array and on numbers in an array. We'll declare a variable called state and assign it the elements of California, Washington, and Arizona. The result is that we return an array with Arizona first, California second, and Washington third. Hopefully that is pretty intuitive. In alphabetical order, we look at the first letter to determine order. We know this from how roll call is often taken in classes. We don't pay attention to the following letters or length of a word unless the first letter is a match and we need more precision. When we look at numbers, we'll take a little bit of a different approach. It isn't as intuitive, but should sink in quickly. When we think of lining up numbers in order in real life, we take into account all of the values and all of the digits. In a building, the first floor comes before the fifth floor, and the fifth floor comes before the 10th floor. However, because we are working with Unicode point value according to string conversion, the string of 11 actually comes before the string of 3 in Unicode point order. Likewise, the string of 111 will come before the string of 3, just as the string of 333 will come before the string of 5 in Unicode point order. Again, don't worry too much about sorting numbers according to Unicode value. We won't need it for this algorithm. I just wanted to introduce you to that as we talk about the array sort method. Now, back to solving our algorithm. Why are we turning our string into an array? Why not just sort a string? We'll need this array sort method for our question because we don't have a sort method for a string in JavaScript. So we're going to have to turn our string into an array of substrings, which you learned before with the string split method. And our array object has a method that can then sort these substrings. Okay, now we have a handle on the sort method on an array. Let's go ahead and look at the array method join. This is going to be similar to the string method split. As the string method split turns a string into a substring of elements in an array, the array method join turns those substring elements in an array back into a string. Let's look at an example. Let's suppose we have a car variable. We'll assign it the value of the string Honda Civic. We'll use the split method with an argument of an empty string. This will turn our car into an array of substrings for every character. We can then just as easily put this array of substrings back into a string with the join method on the array. We just insert an empty string as an argument to come up with the same original value. Let's look at one more example with our car. If we do the split method on our car with an argument of string space, we will return a value of an array with two substring elements. The string Honda at the element of index 0, and the string Civic as the element at index 1. To put that string back together, we'll use the array method join and pass to it a string with a space in it. In this question, you want to focus on what you put within those parentheses to get our desired results. The other key to this algorithm is going to be what are you going to put between the split method and the join method. Alright, you have all the tools to figure out whether two strings are permutations of each other. Let's go to the lab. You have everything you need to know to solve this question. Go ahead and give it a shot if you're ready. Even if you're not ready, pause the video, wrestle with the question for a few minutes, try to wrap your mind around some of the possible solutions. Then come back and I will walk you through some pseudocode to give you a little more assistance if you need it. Alright, here is some pseudocode to get you started. We're going to want to declare a function and give it a name that we can call later. We will then give it two parameters. We will feed the two parameters strings that we want to compare to see if they are permutations of each other. We'll then enter into our code block. At that point, we will compare the two arguments that we passed to the parameters. We'll use the split, sort, and join methods we learned earlier, and we'll return the value of that comparison. And that's it. We'll just invoke the function with our two arguments that we want to evaluate whether they are permutations of each other or not. Now that you've had a little assistance, go ahead and pause the video and wrestle with implementing the real code in place of the pseudocode. As always, set a timer. Don't settle for watching the solution alone. Go ahead, pause the video, and we'll reconvene in a few moments. Alright, how'd it go? Let's go ahead and come up with a possible solution. We'll start with declaring our function, naming it is permutation, and give it two parameters of str1 and str2. That will send us into the code block. We're going to return the value of the comparison between those two strings using the strict inequality operator. On each argument, we will split it into an array of substrings for each character in our string argument. We'll use the sort method on that array so that all the character elements are in the same order in the array. Then we'll use the join method to bring all those array elements together into a string. Now it's important that for our split method, we use an empty string to create our new substring of an arrays. And when we use our join method on the array, that we use the argument of an empty string to bring those substrings back into one string. Now, equality operator can let us know if those two are identical. We'll go ahead and call our function with any two arguments that we might choose to give it. We'll go ahead and give it two arguments, the string volleyball, and then another string with the characters LLBYAOLLVE. And the result is true. Both have one A, one B, four L's, one O, one V, and one Y. Alright, that's all we have for now. Thanks for taking a look with me at creating an algorithm to determine if two strings are permutations of each other. We'll see you in the next lesson with our next question.